Hello, I'm Mr. Dady, and today, by popular demand, we're going to talk more about special case solutions, in particular, infinite, no solution problems, and some more fractions. If you're looking for more fractions work, I have a video called More Fractions. So there's fractions and then more fractions. Fractions are evil. Go look at those videos. This one's going to be based primarily on infinite, no, and one solution. So I'm going to do one problem each for me to show you. Problem number one. Looks like just a normal multi-step problem with variables on both sides. All right, we draw a wall in between, and then we simplify each side by going by our order of operations. Parentheses, everything's good in the parentheses. Exponents, there's no exponents, no multiplication. So we distribute the two. 2 times 3, or negative 2, times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14x. Then we bring this down. Now you can already see they look alike. But just because they look alike, still go through the operation to make sure it is. Because sometimes you'll look at it and it'll look the same, but it's not exactly the same. So what you do here is you finish up. I'll add 6 to both sides. That just brings me with negative 14x and then negative 14x because these cancel out. And is that the same thing? Yes. If you want to go a step further, you can though, just to prove it. Plus 14x plus 14x. That gives you 0. 0 equals 0. So for it to be an infinite solution, it has to mirror itself. So up here I can see it, negative 14x minus 6. Negative 14 minus x minus 6. It's the same thing. Just go ahead and do it down. I could have stopped right here and said, all right, negative 14x, negative 14x. Same thing. So it doesn't matter what I put into that x. I'm going to get the same thing on both sides. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. So we're going to start over. And I'll do it with 2 numbers. I'll do x equals 2. So all I'm going to do now is just plug in 2 where all my x's are to solve. So negative 14. I'm going to do it in red just to show you where they're at. Minus 6 equals negative 2 times 3 plus 7. 2. So what's going to happen when I solve this or do it out? I'm going to get the same number on both sides. Distribute negative 14 times 2 is negative 28, and then minus 6. That gives me negative 34. That equals 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2, well I have to do what's in parentheses first. Sorry about that. This is 14, 7 times 2. So then negative 2 times negative, or 14 is negative 28. Add those two together, negative 34. It's a mirror image of each other. It does not matter which number I put in for x. It can be any number. I'm always going to get what looks like a mirror image when I'm done. I'm going to do one more just to prove this to you. This time we'll say x equals 3. Again, I plug it in. Anywhere there's an x, 3 and 3. And now I just solve it. So negative 4 times 3 is negative 42. Minus 6 is negative 48. All right? So now, because it's an infinite solution, and I already proved that with the very first thing I did, on this side I should get negative 48. So 7 times 3 is 21. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2 times 21 is negative 42. Combine them, you get negative 48. And that's what it means by infinite solution. It means any number you put in there, it gives you an answer out. So anytime you solve it now, you'll have a mirror image of itself. And that is how you do infinite solutions. Next, I'm going to go into no solution. This one is for you fraction lovers out there. This is a no solution problem. It looks just like any other multi-step equation with variables on both sides. So we do this the same exact way that we were doing everything else. Look at our parentheses, go by our operations. Nothing to do in the parentheses, nothing to combine. You look at the exponents, nothing we can do. So then we multiply. We'd say 1/7 times 14. Multiply across 14 over 7, which equals 2. So this gives us 2x. Then we say 1/7 times negative 21. Multiply across, get negative 21 over 7, which equals negative 3. There we go. We have simplified one side. Now we have to simplify the other side. Now I'm going to switch markers because that red is about to die. So we have negative 1/3. Multiply that times 6. Multiply across the top, get 6. Multiply across the bottom, get 3. Gives us negative 2. Negative 2x. Then we distribute the negative 1/3 to the 15. You get, I'm not going to do it out again, but you get negative 5. And plus 4x. And that is just the distribution part. Now we need to simplify. Remember, when you simplify on one side, all you do is combine your terms. You don't use the inverse operation. You only use the inverse operation when you go over the wall. So when I'm combining these two, 4x and negative 2x, that just gives me 2x minus 5 equals 2x minus 3. Make this line a little darker. Now, just like with the other one, the infinite solution, when we could solve from here, so we could say minus 2x minus 2x, and that gives me, that cancels both these out, gives me negative 3 equals negative 5. That's why this is a no solution, because negative 3 can never equal negative 5. So anything I put in here for the x, I will never get anything that is like an infinite solution that's 2 equals 2, or like a one solution where it says x equals 6. No matter what I do here, I'll always get 2 different answers, if that makes sense, which I hope it does. I will show you an example of that. So I'll use x equals 2 again, and I'll plug it in. So it gives me 1/7 times 14 times 2 minus 21 equals negative 1/3. 6 times 2 plus 15 plus 4x. I know it looks a little jumbled, but my marker's dead, so you just have to look at it. 14 times 2 is 28, minus 2 is 26, times 1/7 gives us 26/7. I'm not even going to simplify. So I have 6 times 2 because we're going by the order of operations. So I get 27 times negative 1/3. Multiply that, it gives me negative 9. Negative 9 out here. And I have to do 4 times 2. Right? Yep. So plus 8. Plus 8. So I get negative 1. Is 26/7 the same thing as negative 1? No. You always go back and check your work. My work might be wrong here. You might see this video and say this guy's an idiot, but it does work out. Where it's no solution. These two will never come out equal no matter what number you put in there. Okay, and I'll do one solution problem for you, just to kind of refresh yourself on multi-steps. All right, one solutions with fractions, just to make everybody happy. I know we all love fractions here. So we draw our line, we go through the order of operations. There's nothing to do in the parentheses, there's no exponent, so we go to multiplication, which means distribution. So that gives me negative 1 is x. Distributed to that gives me plus 5. You need to know how that works. 1/5 times 25 over 1 gives me 25 over 5, which simplifies down to 5. Now we distribute here, and we get 4/5 x plus 4. Next step, now it's just a multi-step equation problem. I'm going to move this over here. So I say plus 1/5 x plus 1/5 x gives me plus 5 equals 1x plus 4. Gives me 1 because 4/5 plus 1/5 gives me 5 over 5, which simplifies down to 1. And we subtract our 4, 1 equals x. And that's a one solution problem. 1 is the only one that will work here. I can put in 2 or 3 and it won't work. So that's a one solution problem. Again, some of the highlights of these 3. Make sure you go back over it to make sure you didn't do anything wrong. That is probably the most commonplace mistake I see, is you go through and you just start assuming that it's infinite or no solution. It could be the other one. Make sure you work it all through. Make sure you do your steps properly. And just keep working at it. That's the main thing. Again, this was my most asked about one to make a video for so far. So I hope this helped you. If it didn't, go ahead and ask and I can make some other ones. Other than that, good luck.